So here's a very, very hearty good evening to all of you and welcome to yet another edition of the Smart CA webinar series. And we have with us a second or a third time speaker. This time he's been here with us. So it's a hat trick of sorts for Narasimhan, whom I've grown to respect enormously in the couple of months. I've known him personally and I know of him for a very long time now. We've interacted in the past before. So Narasimhan is a chartered accountant, a futurist, a GRC professional, a keynote speaker in several forums, and a partner of Ken & Co, Bangalore. And he's also a senior advisor to Crow Advisory Services India. His areas of practice include data analytics, risk-based audit, privacy impact assessments, internal audits, SOX, anything in the IT space. And he's really good at it, and he's very passionate about it, which is what I find it very nice. So he's constantly getting there and upgrading himself and helping us too. He's a faculty for the DISA, CISA, and courses on blockchain technology. He's authored 4 books for ICAI and KSACA, etc. on technology. He's a regular speaker. You'd be seeing Narasimhan Ilangovan once almost every week in some forum, and it's actually more than mentioning it. I think we're very thankful because it's people like this who really want to share knowledge that the rest of us hugely benefit out of. And his own course on forensic risk assessments was sort of an eye-opener for me also. So, and very interestingly, he's already done co-authored 2 books for ICAI. One was on the strategic roadmap for CA firms, and the other one was on the digital capability and maturity model of firms. Now, God willing, there'll be another book that we'll get to see on maybe the CA Day, which is a book that he's authored. He's authored individually on the Internet of Things, and may our tribe grow and flourish, Narasimhan. He's also addressed international conferences at Dubai, Malaysia, Bangkok, Saudi Arabia, Geneva, Nairobi, Singapore, etc. And he's also been identified as one of the top 10 influential consulting leaders 2020, an annual recognition by the CEO Insights magazine. So here's your virtual putting your hands together for Narasimhan. And most importantly, I think his lectures are marked by a certain simplicity. So he sort of, it's not that it starts from there. I've always found that it's the basic and it's exactly what you and I would possibly want to use tomorrow. So over to you, Narasimhan, and welcome to this session. We have about 160, but you can start off. They'll join in.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for this opportunity. And let me quickly get into the screenshot. Hope my audio, video, and the screen is visible.
Yes, Narasimhan.
Fantastic. Thank you. So just in case, just as a backup, in case the power fails or the network fails, there may be 1 or 2 minutes of a blackout, but I think that's common these days and we have to accept that. Okay. So today's session, I'm going to be very, very specific. And of course, obviously, I have a time constraint of an hour. And for this 1 hour, I'm going to take you through what exactly are the tools and the technology which is necessary for any sort of a professional firm. That is not restricted to only a CA firm, any professional firm which is actually looking into. And that's the thought process which I applied, when we started looking into this particular presentation. So I'm going to talk broadly on 4 things. A is going to be a shared folder. Basics of IT, I beg your pardon. B is shared folders. C is remote working and data backup. I think the order is slightly jumbled, but nevertheless, I will be taking you through these 4 broad concepts and what is the related things which you require. And tomorrow, let's say you want to get started on a remote engagement. Okay, how do you get started? What is your thought process? How do you go about? That is something which we will be looking into. Okay, so having said that, let's quickly jump into the first and foremost introduction, which I call it as the basics of IT, how we want to position it. See, any CA firm today, let's first start with, and this is the approach which I always do, whether I take up an audit, whether I take up a consulting engagement, whether I take an IT engagement, I spend some time to understand the business. Likewise, I thought, let us understand the CA practice itself. What are the things which we do? We do a process outsourcing, bookkeeping, accounting, reconciliation, payroll processing, etc. Then we spend a good amount of time doing what is called as regulatory compliances. And in fact, most of us do a massive portion of this. It could be income tax filing, GST filing, PF, ESI, statutory records, a bunch of these. The third is an audit and assurance function. Now, this is something which is like a risk advisory, an internal audit, a tax or a GST audit, a corporate audit, what is popularly called a statutory audit, a company audit, and the variance trust, etc. The fourth, what we do is some bit of consulting and advisory. Smaller firms may probably have very limited role here, but they definitely do some bit of advisory consulting, and it could be on any of these matters. It could be on the taxation, it could be on capital budgeting, it could be on working capital, and whatever you can call it. And the last bucket, again, depending upon certain firms, they either do litigation or assessments, they make filing, representations, whatever. Now, if I broadly look into these 5 buckets, what is that one thing which is going to be common for all these 5 things? And that is your underlying technology. And let us spend some time to understand clearly what exactly is this underlying technology which you're going to be speaking of, and how and where are we going to be focusing a little more, and what do we get started. Okay. So first and foremost, why should you require a technology? As I told, there's a fundamental thing. Correct?
Narasimhan, can you just increase your audio slightly? A few people have said maybe it's clear for me.
Okay. So why technology? The technology today is extremely critical because you need it for tracking and scheduling of your work. That is very important. And without technology, my dear friends, believe me, it is going to become extremely difficult for you to run you through this. The second is you require it for maintaining records, contacts, firm database, whatever it is. Gone are the days where you manually sat and wrote down in books. I'm sure if you go back a few years, okay, just 5 to 10 years back, all of them at home, at least the youngsters ignoring, probably senior folks, I'm sure you would have recorded, and some of them are still having a practice, that you have a book where you write down the contact details. I still remember, my mom or my parents, you have a book where they used to write down all these details. And today, unfortunately or fortunately, however you word it, everything is just dependent on this mobile phone. We are living through it. But be that as it may, sharing of data is something which is very, very critical and is increasingly becoming a challenge. We have lots of data. I have one file with me, I have your file, I have somebody else's file, and version history are all massive things, my dear friends. And let me remind you one very important thing. Because of this pandemic, because of this work from home lockdown, many of them are having the same data at multiple locations. I've taken the entire data, copied into my computer and gone home because I was not able to access the office. Now this becomes very challenging. So how do I share data with the clients? Correct? How do I improvise the communication process? Today, if I have to track work, it is becoming a very big challenge, especially if I have to follow up with people. A simple example is I told my staff or I told my article that, please complete this by tomorrow. And after 2 days, I suddenly remember and have not scheduled any reminder or something of that sort. So how do I improvise that? So that's where why technology comes very important. How do I store and retrieve data efficiently? And how do I have a backup system, disaster recovery? Unfortunately, many of us do not have this capability. It may be by design, it may be by default, it may be by ignorance, whatever it may be. Correct? I know many of the firms, they take backup once a month, once in 6 months, once a year. And I was surprised that many firms don't even take backup. A couple of years back, I did a survey and I was very shocked to know this. And I need to enhance the presentation of my firms, whatever work we're doing. For instance, I am speaking or I am doing something with respect to a presentation to a client. If I have a simple PPT, I'm able to enhance the value. Now, for instance, whenever I give any internal audit or IS audit based engagement, my deliverable will have 3 to 4 things. First, I used to give them only as a spreadsheet. But what is the advantage of a spreadsheet? You can track it. But then I realized that everybody wants a report at the end of the day. Now I can't sit and type those reports. So I simply wrote a simple script or a formula. How the data from my Excel can come automatically to my Word document. I just had to paste it literally. Put in formula, just paste it. Over. Correct. Now tomorrow, then I realized that, I gave them an Excel spreadsheet, but, I thought something was missing. I had to give a little extra, and I always try to do something more in every engagement because doing the same thing again and again is too boring for me. And every time I do something new. So I came up with a simple thing. I came up with a dashboard, a simple dashboard, which will have 4 images and it'll have a drop-down menu. Everything, no advanced Excel customization, no, simple thing. You click which department, only that department observation will come. You click department 2, only that will come. You click all departments, everything you can see. A simple dashboard. Now clients, in fact, they were more fancied with the dashboard than actually going through the observation. Correct? Now I'm trying to see how I can improvise this further, how I can make it even more interactive and things like this. Right? And today you require technology to market and position the firm. This is something very, very important. Today your digital presence is felt. And today more than your physical presence is the digital presence which is necessary. And not to forget the time pressure we deal with. Huge amount. We have 5 clients at the same time I need to handle. It's going to become next to impossible for me to handle everything at the same pace. Correct? So what exactly are the basic tools which I want in my office? And this is where I need to spend a few minutes. Okay. Ignore the footnote where the date is a little inconsistent, because I just brought in a few thoughts on wherever I've spoken and added a few more points to make it very specific. Correct? So I just perhaps missed updating that. Anyways, so what are a few basic tools? First and foremost, you require a desktop and a laptop computer. Now you must be thinking, why is this gentleman speaking about a laptop and a desktop? Don't you think I don't have no clue about it? My dear friends, hang on. I'm sure all of us do all these things, but the right way of doing it is something different. Correct? What is the difference between you making the favorite dish of yours at home and probably your grandmother or mom, or for that matter, your favorite restaurant making it? There is a structured process. Correct? So coming back to this particular thing, highly recommended those of you who are a very small, when I say very small, 1 to 3 or 5 member firms, or even just a proprietary concern, no major team, a laptop will serve your major purpose. But if you have a sort of a team who's having some sharing of resources, going for a desktop-based computer, and one of these desktop increase the configuration such that it can act as a server. Now, what is your desktop configuration? How should you buy a laptop? Hang on, that also I've covered it in one of the subsequent slides. Second, you need to be connected with the devices. Correct? One computer has to speak to another computer, so obviously you require a network and what I call it as a LAN switch, a D-Link or Cisco, any of these providers do it. It's fairly unaffordable. In simple language, it's a junction box where all the systems get connected. The third, which is very, very, very critical, is a Microsoft Windows license. Now, why do I use the word only Microsoft Windows? 80 to 90% of the government websites and the government applications support only Windows. I am not against you using Linux, Macintosh, iOS, the choice is yours. But suggested, especially from a computer server and other things, Microsoft Windows license. Now here, you need to bear in mind there are 2 types of licenses. Okay, one is a Windows Server Edition. Second is a Windows Standard Operating System. Okay, please bear in mind you are using it for your office. That means you have to use a commercial license only. You cannot buy a Windows 10 Home. You need to buy a Windows 10 Professional as per the Microsoft terms of obligation. You are bound to do it. Now, don't say that I am not bound to follow all those rules. It may become a challenge because whenever you install the application, you put a tick mark saying I'm hereby acting. The fourth is a bunch of productive applications, productivity applications. Now, this is what I call it as, the M suite of products, Microsoft suite of products. I need not tell anything, Excel, PowerPoint, Word, all of this. And let me remind you, Excel, PowerPoint, Word, all of this are paid software. I repeat, paid software. Okay. Don't think that, oh, I spoke to my IT guy, he installed Word for me and gave it. No, you need to pay for it unless you buy by virtue of a student edition, etc., where you get it inbuilt into it. In certain cases, Microsoft provides that, but that again cannot be used by you. Maximum, if you're using by this article or intern, which is owned by them, it may be considered. Again, it's a question of interpretation. Okay, very important, very important. I highly recommend the partner or the senior managers in your office, or for the matter, the proprietors, to please take up Microsoft Office 365 subscription. Highly recommended. And how do you get that? Let me quickly go and show you live. And I hope you're okay of me showing certain things live, because that's the best way in which you can actually learn. Okay, so let me quickly go into this Microsoft 365. My dear friends, earlier it was called as Office 365. Today it's called as M365. Now there are 4 buckets: home, business, enterprise. Those of you who have paid 4,000 or 6,000 rupees per year and say that for 5 computers I can use it, please be aware you're using the home edition. Home edition, 5 people is the maximum which you can use it. But please note, it is not 5 people, it is 5 devices. Unfortunately, the interpretation. Next is what is called as for business. This is something which I highly recommend you to take it. And if you just click over here, it'll take you a very, very interesting 4 options. The first option is only if you want to have a digital presence. You don't want any Excel or you don't want any Word into your system. Okay, then this option comes in. It is purely cloud. So you'll find web or mobile versions of Word and Excel. So what will happen? You cannot open a Word document such as this. Okay, so if you notice here, it says that license to Narasimhan Ilangovan over here. So you cannot use that. Rather, you can open a Microsoft, through an Office account, you can use the Word on a browser. Something like what happens in a case of a G Suite, something like this. In a G Suite, you have what is called as a Word, what is called as notes here, okay, or it's called as a Word document sort of an equivalent, where you can write, correct? And this works only on a web browser. If there is no internet, it doesn't work, correct? So that is something which you have to please bear in mind. Whereas the second option is something very, very good, which is 660 rupees per user per month, okay, per user per month. And this consists of these basic suite which you already see here. Okay, and you have Teams, Exchange, OneDrive, and SharePoint.
Narasimhan, slightly louder. Narasimhan, slightly louder or to the mic. Come closer.
This Microsoft 365 Business Standard Edition consists of the generic set of documents, which is, or applications, which is Outlook, Word, Excel, PowerPoint. And these two probably may not be relevant for you. It still doesn't matter. That comes within the package. Microsoft Teams, excellent video conferencing tool. Okay, and it comes free with this, and you can host webinars, meetings, etc. OneDrive and SharePoint are excellent, data sharing repositories. This is one option which you can consider. Now, alternatively, this instead of this 660, this also comes along with a free email account. Now, if you do not want an email account, you can just go for this 595, which is only apps. You will not get the email account over here. Okay, so you will get only the apps. This is also okay. I would recommend either you go for this Microsoft 365 or the business standard, at least for the proprietors and the senior management, 660 user per month. Again, I'm not an advocate of Microsoft only. The choice is yours. If you feel that this is too expensive, I cannot go for it, there are possibilities. Let's accept the way things are. You can go for very important, what is called as open source productivity applications. Just like you have Microsoft is not the only vendor who provides it. You have OpenOffice applications, LibreOffice, WPS Office. Now, all of this provide the same suite of products. Probably Microsoft may call it as Word, OpenOffice may call it as a notepad or a WordPad or something like that. Correct? There they may call it as an Excel, here they may call it as spreadsheet. So nomenclature is different, but you get everything same. And very important, they have close to 70 to 80% of the features which are there in Microsoft Office. Sometimes even newer features. Very, very important. You need not pay a single rupee for it. And that's the reason it's called open source. That means anybody can use it for free. Then comes the interesting question. Hey, why should I even go for Microsoft? Can I just not go ahead and use all of my computers as open source? Your choice. Bear in mind, sometimes when you upload certain things with the government websites, the expectation or the way they design is that it is customized for Microsoft suite of products. Only for that extent, you need to be a little cautious. In addition, obviously, this is something which most of you have: accounting, tax, compliance solutions. It could be softwares like Xarel Tax, Winman, or CompuTax, OPPO-Tax, ClearTax, a bunch of software solutions. Then you may have certain things exclusively for accounting, Tally. You may have certain softwares which you can use for automating data entry into Tally. Maybe that's some other day we will discuss that. You may have compliance solutions, something to do only with due date reminder and things like that. The next, which is very, very, very important, invest in an endpoint antivirus solution. Endpoint or an antivirus solution. It can be a very, very simple thing such as an internet security. Today, all of us, my dear friends, are heavily dependent on this entire digital space. It makes a lot of sense for us to
Nasiman, you have to be a little louder, Nasiman. Your
Okay.
mic or
Okay. I don't know why. Okay. I'll probably increase my volume. Okay. So this endpoint or antivirus solution, my dear friends, is very, very critical. Why? We have so much of data in our office, and all of this data, my dear friends, in our office, whatever we have, this antivirus solution to a large extent helps you to safeguard it. Okay, and please buy a commercial license. Do not buy an open source antivirus software which is for free and things like that. It is at a very, very affordable price, as low as even 800 to 1000 rupees per user, okay, per computer or whatever it is. Remember, if you have to grow in the future, as much as you invest in your office and infrastructure, invest into your IT systems. Do not think it as an expenditure, think it as an investment. I'm not talking from an accounting parlance, okay, I'm talking from a perspective. Next, ensure you have a practice of updating the softwares and patches. And last is email ID for all members, or at least designated however you want to do it. At least as partners, see if you can have a domain-based email ID. What is a domain-based? Instead of saying @gmail.com, I have it @mycafirm.com. Again, the choice is yours. Go ahead for that. It is recommended. So these are the basic tools which are essential. Now, what are the other things which is from an application standpoint which is necessary? What I spoke of was the infrastructure. Now we'll go into applications. What are the tools which are necessary? A practice management system, recommended, not mandatory. It is recommended. Now, what does a practice management system do? It tracks all your tasks. How many tasks you have, to whom you have assigned, what is the status. It records time, more of a timekeeping software. It helps you for attendance, and last, it can help you for what is built and what is not built. Many a times after 6 months, you realize sometime at midnight, oh, I forgot to build this client. That's because you do not have a practice management software. Please bear in mind, all of this will increase some bit of your operational burden. But as you scale up, this is something which is very, very, very good. Now, for example, one of the famous restaurants in Chennai, whatever it may be, how is it that they were able to scale up and do things better? They were able to standardize. How did restaurant models like KFC or the Domino's or the Pizza Hut become such huge? They're able to standardize the process, and that is where practice management software helps you. Second link to it is a document management system. It can help you archive the data, back up the data, and it also has certain access restrictions in place. Now, some organizations have noticed that this practice management solution and document management system speak hand in glove, which means they speak with each other. And given that situation, it becomes much more easier for you to synchronize data. The third is communication tools. You need to have tools to communicate internally. I'm going to give you examples and try to show you live as well. Communication tools. Now, what happens when you have a communication tools? It helps you to speak. Today, most of our conversation with our article staff is through WhatsApp. And the moment you get a message in WhatsApp and you are very, very distracted towards you run into that and you are lost with it. Why? Because when you go click on one message, from there it goes to another message and keeps on going. Why don't you think of having a dedicated communication tool only for your employees other than WhatsApp? I personally started discouraging the use of WhatsApp. In fact, clients started sending data on WhatsApp. I have clearly told, if you send it on WhatsApp, I will not accept it. Correct? It may be some sort of an emergency which is acceptable, but please make it as a policy. Client communication as well, these things have to come. The next, collaboration and productivity. How do I share the data? How do I share the files? Correct? How do I look into spreadsheets and word processing? And again, today we're going to look into certain live demos. Branding and marketing. Oftentimes, this is something which we have ignored. Website is a tool through which people get to know you exist. Correct? How many of them have a Google Map address? It is very critical. I keep getting resumes for articleship, etc., or interview. I have no clue how these people got it. So one of the days I asked these persons, how did you get to know that I am a CA firm, and how did you get my email ID? They said, sir, I went to Google Maps and searched, or Google and searched CA firms near me. That's what is going to happen. Correct? So you need to have your digital presence, website, email, campaigns, webinars. Campaigns are mechanism through which you sell bulk emails. Correct? You need to have do multiple webinars to make your presence felt. The other side, you have the remote working tools. Things which it can do is share the screen. It can help you to video call. Of course, we're using web meeting as Zoho option over here. And there are certain things which is domain specific. I normally don't go into it. You are specialist in that. Accounting automation, audit automation, compliance automation. For example, there is a tool called as Tally. I think it's called Excel to Tally software. E2T, E number 2, T, E2T software. What it can do is you bring a spreadsheet with all the bank line items, even maybe 1 lakh line items, it really doesn't matter, 10,000, 1,000. You write on the right hand side, what is the ledger account? Click of a button, the entire data from Excel goes into Tally. And it just takes probably about 3 to 4 minutes, depending on the size of data. If the data is very, very small, within 30 seconds, it is done. You need not sit time and key the entry. Take your GSTR2A, you can push it. Correct? There are a lot of things which you can do. The thing is, we should start looking beyond. Do not focus only within my restricted domain. That is when you'll be able to head into. Now, one very important question many of them have is the hardware configurations. What is it that I need to do? First, whenever you purchase any hardware, please focus or ensure that the RAM which you have is reasonably standard. A 4 GB RAM is considered to be standard in the current situation. If you're doing very, very heavy data processing, number crunching like what I do, you may probably want to go to 8 GB, 12 GB, 16 GB RAM, etc. Remember, higher the RAM, obviously it's going to be expensive. There are two types of hard disk, the HDD and the SDD. HDD hard disk are the traditional hard disk. You have a read-write head and the actuary which keeps on running. And that's why when you open some of the folders, you realize that some disk is running very quick. That is from a HDD. The STD is a solid state drive. It is extremely fast. Obviously, it's expensive. Correct? So those of you who want for servers, you may probably considering loading the operating system on SDD and having the data stored in HDD. So you have two hard disks. So even if one of them gets corrupt, you still have the data in the other. Please note, this is not a backup option. This is just a way in which you position it. The space of hard disk minimum recommended is 512 GB, and the processor speed I recommend, is at least you take up, it's measured in gigahertz. You go ask them, they'll probably give you this. Don't say that, I want the best quality laptop. There is nothing called best, because what is best to me is not best to you. Remember the number 6, when I write it in front of you, it may be 6 to me, it is 9 to you, correct? There is nothing that which is the best which works. Next, very, very critical. Many CA firms, I repeat, many CA firms encourage their employees or article staff to bring their own laptops. It is nice initiative because of a cost constraint, whatever. This is called as a BYOD policy, bring your own device. I've known various CA firms, they say, I will give you articleship only if you bring your own laptop. Okay, I mean, it's a policy of them. But if you are one of those, what is it that you have to do? First, clearly ensure that the employee or article staff is having genuine license. Correct? Second, have a policy, even a one-pager document. One-pager, simple one-pager document. What is permitted and what is not permitted? You might be asking, where do I get all these policies? Hang on, one of the books I've authored, everything is covered. I've co-authored, everything is covered. So what is permitted, what is not permitted with respect to BYOD assets, licenses, software, bring everything. Clearly mention that you are not permitted to store, transfer, illicit or, prohibited material content. Third is very, very important. You can deploy an endpoint threat detection system or a software, or at least a bare minimum antivirus software. And clearly tell them, hey, you will use only this laptop and you will not use any other laptop. Ask them to create a separate user profile. They may use it for something else. This user profile only for office. And when they are connecting to your office Wi-Fi, you configure based on what is called as a MAC ID. And what is a MAC ID? The physical address of your laptop. All that you have to do is go to the Wi-Fi router 192.168.1.12.13.1, whatever your router is. Go there and enable MAC ID configuration, add this. Regularly audit or scan through the systems. And very important, get a declaration signed off. These are few very basic things which you can do. I can go into a lot of advanced things, but I want to stick on to the basics. Now, if you're deploying a software, very important, you need to understand what is the type of a software. Why is it that you are going to use the software? Just because I got a one-off client, I'm going to deploy the software. No. Look 3 months, 6 months, 1 year, or even 3 to 5 years. Why are you going to deploy the software? Remember, a software is excellent, but you should know how to use it. And it is not just you, it is your entire team. Remember, a software or a tool is still a fool in the hands of a fool. It really doesn't matter whatever you give them if they're not able to know how to use it. Understand the model of deployment. Some softwares reside within your server. Some software reside within your server and you have an application layer, something like Tally, which is installed in every system. Some softwares like SAP installed in the server, you only have an agent in your system, double click the agent, you can connect. Some softwares don't even require anything, you can access it on the cloud. Correct? And figure out what are the standard functionalities. Are they providing training? Recently, just a couple of days back, I visited one of the client. They had configured SAP B1, which is the best in class basic configuration software or a basic software, or rather, no, I will not use the word basic. It's a best in class standard software, enterprise software for the purpose of inventory tracking. Unfortunately, the configuration went wrong. They have not trained the staff properly. They maintain 2 sets of accounts. For purchase order, they're maintaining SAP B1, and for sales records and inventory, they're maintaining Tally. So purchase is here, sales is here. I was wondering where the profit is. Correct? Testing with a real use case. Identify the software, try it for 1 month, see whether a particular use case you're able to solve that. Training and supporting I already spoke of. Understand the limitation of application. You are installing a software such as Sarl, Winman, etc. They work fantastic on the network infrastructure. With a work from home scenario, what should happen? How do I migrate the data? These are all interesting questions. Is the vendor having competent certifications? Now, I don't want any Tom, Dick, and Harry to come and have access to my data. Right? Is there some sort of a due diligence which I've performed on the vendor? So these are all questions which you should ask. And one very popular question, do I go with on-premise? Do I go with cloud? The choice is yours. Remember the differences. In an on-premise, your deployment inside your office. Cloud, it is hosted on a third party, something like Google. The cost, your cost of server network licensing extremely is normally high and it is on you. Whereas in cloud, you just require an internet connection. Control, all the control is with you on on-premise. In a cloud, it's with a cloud service provider. Security, if you have sensitive data, additional requirements, better to have on-premise. Cloud computing, security remains as a cloud service provider. Compliance, on-premise is better compared to a cloud. Flexibility, you may probably, less flexible. If you have to access, you require a VPN and other things. Cloud works anywhere. Backup and recovery is on yours. Cloud is on the service provider. Last is on the software updates. Manually you have to do, whereas he will take. Okay. So my dear friends, I think I've given you a perspective of what are the basics of technology which is necessary. And I'm going to jump into the earmarked things which I want to cover. A, the shared folders. Now, many of them think that shared folders is right.
Narasimhan, sorry to disturb. You can take slightly longer also. Don't worry too much because we have time till 6:30. We can reduce the questions.
Perfect. Then that works.
So you don't have to stick to your thing because I can see it doing.
Thank you for that. So the next question is, how do I spend time or how do I do the sharing of folder? Or forget about sharing of folder. How do I give the data? I am here, my colleague is somewhere else. How on earth do I share the data and do a lot of this jugaad? So what are the few principles you need to keep in mind when you're looking into shared folders? First, there are methods in which you can use the data on remote basis. For example, understand the purpose of sharing the data. Now you are doing an audit of a client. I repeat, you're doing an audit of a client who is at Tally. You are not able to visit there or you don't want to go because of, maybe you have a possible risk of infection, whatever, all those things. So can with the help of the application itself, can I do remote auditing? Question number one. Example, Tally. Tally has a feature of remote auditing. I don't know how many of them have explored. Let's quickly look into it live. I open Tally, right click. Of course, I normally open it as an administrator because sometimes admin settings are necessary. I hope my Tally screen is visible. Fantastic. So I'm just choosing an accounting, a simple company over here. Now I have this data. Now I am supposed to, I just change the period. I think it's 12/13. Okay, I have not migrated to Prime because I'm just using the fundamental version. Maybe a little later we will look into what features of Prime, some other session we can discuss. Now this is the data which is there in my client. The first thing what you do is Alt F3, go to Alter and enable the security control and enable the username and password here. First thing. And here there's an option called use Tally audit features, enable it as yes. The moment you do this, then go to again Alt F3, go to this option called security control. Under security control, click on security and user access. You will have the list of users who will have access. Okay. Now you can create a new user and that user can be anybody's email ID also. It works. The moment you create it, they will get a default password and they have a link where they can go ahead and change it. Once the user account is activated, go to users and passwords and create an access or enable an access. And what is the level of access you want? You want a Tally.net auditor. Give this particular access to whoever it is. And there's a beautiful option which Tally has. Release 6 or some onwards, I think this option is available, or release 5 above. They have a beautiful option called allow browser access. Enable yes. Allow remote access. Enable yes. Allow TDL is optional. Please do this. The moment you do this, you will find this icon called a C over here, which means your Tally is now connected. Now, all that you need to do is go to the browser, just say Tally login. It'll take you to the first link, of course. And here you go in. Okay, in my case, I've already logged in. So I just go click on login. I'm just going to enter my colleague's ID. Okay. The moment I enter this and I say login, look at this. It says that this is the, the user account and this is the particular user ID which I've logged in. You click on this account ID, he or she will have access to certain companies. Now, what you have to do in the client system, you have to enable this and request your client to just switch on that server. That's all. Switch on the server, switch on Tally. That's all you require. And you notice this beautiful option called connected. Click on this. The moment you get connected, you can view every report what is there in Tally. You can only view, you cannot down, you cannot edit or pass entries. That is enough for us to do remote audit. Correct. Make a list, and when things get better, you go ahead and spend time in correcting or whatever it is. For instance, I want the balance sheet. Click here. You have it. Correct. You have the entire balance sheet here, my dear friends. Sir, I cannot understand this. I need to download it. No problem. Go click here, download. You have option called download as PDF, download as Excel. Go ahead and do whatever analysis you want. No, this is too much. I want the daybook. Go ahead, type daybook. Here you have the daybook. Go ahead, choose the day for which you want. Let's say you want it for 1/4/2012. Just say show. Okay, maybe transactions are not there. 31/3/2013. Of course, because my data is for the old period. Here I go. No, sir, I want this entire thing in Excel. Go ahead, download it as Excel. Don't you think this is exactly what we do when you are doing the audit? The answer is yes. So whatever you want, go ahead and take it from here. Now, don't you think this saves substantial amount of time? The answer is yes. Forget about going to that place. Sales register. But I have my entire sales register. Do whatever audit you want. And the beauty is sales register, I can choose a particular period. So for all I want is 31/3/2013. My entire sales is here. Go ahead, export it to Excel. Take the client's GST login details. Correct. Download it. Download whatever the fashion file is, JSON, whatever are there, or you can download it as Excel. Start doing the comparison. Who's stopping you? Correct. That means I am trying to say that there is so much of work which we can do sitting at our homes. Please bear in mind the future. We never know. We may have wave 3, wave 4, wave 5. I don't know. Let's be practical as possible. And imagine if you're able to operate virtual like this. Tomorrow, we are going to have a hybrid model of a system where few of them are going to work physically, few of them are going to work digitally. Now imagine you want to optimize your workforce. You have certain people who cannot travel because of various restrictions, or maybe they have kids at home, you have working women, correct? Now give them this facility saying, you do all this from remote, give me all the observations, I will ask my colleague to go there and finish the audit, correct? So this is where you actually mature and get better day by day, correct? So these things are available over click of a button, and that is one thing which I wanted to quickly take into. Second, how can you use the Google Suite? Let me tell you, Google Suite is a terrific suite of applications. Wonderful. You just go to drive.com. I've created one folder called test. Inside that, I have a simple thing, a simple checklist which I want to roll out to my client before I get started with the audit. I've just written this. As SME clients, sir, what do you require? You require bank statements, correct? You require sales and invoices. You require purchase invoices, and I mentioned all of this. And all that I've written is I've written a status over here. So you can quickly draw a pivot out of this and say what, give an overall summary, or you can simply write a SUMIF, correct? So you can just write is equal to SUMIF, correct? And, COUNTIF, beg your pardon, COUNTIF. And this is my range, correct? I press F4 and please see if I have yes. And here it is auto-filling. Look at this. I need not even write the formula. And this is my total list of requirements. Tell your client, hey boss, until you are going to give me, until you're going to ensure this yes is 50%, I am not going to start your audit. In fact, all that your client has to do is keep on sharing this and mention the date or the file or the location. And you might be wondering, sir, how do I give this share to, how do I share this? I'm sorry. Excuse me. How do I share this particular sheet with my client? Nothing to do. File, share. As simple as that. Sir, what do I do after this? Type your client's email ID. For instance, I'm typing, our office ID. Here there's an option called notify people. You can give the message. Now you don't want client to delete the data. Very good. Click on editor. Just say view or commenter. Or you want the client to edit it, but you do not want the client to modify it further. He should not share it to anybody else. Uncheck this. Uncheck viewers and commenters can see the option to download. I don't want the client to download this. Fantastic. Now this is going to be only a link-based setup. That's it. You're ready. Correct? It is as simple as this. Now you have one more challenge. Sir, there are 3 to 4 people in my client and I do not know who are all the people. I am okay to share this with others. Go ahead. Here you have an option. Change to anyone with link. Anybody has the link can go ahead and access the data. So it is as simple as this. Have you tried it? The answer is no. Now tomorrow, if you notice over here, whatever I do, it will mention who is the person who's actually doing it. Or insert comments, just give comments over here. The choice is yours. Correct? And it is as simple as this. Now, assuming you feel, no, sir, this is too complicated. The client may not have a time. I'll give you option 2. Go ahead and create a Google form. Now, what is a Google form? A simple checklist. IT filing for FY 2021. Go ahead and create this. Choose what is the type of business, what is the requirement, put in a checklist. You have an option. And the beauty about this is, the moment you type the question, okay, say for example, which year, or I just type date of birth. That's it. I just type date of birth. Do you notice here automatically it got changed to date? Now this is the power of AI. Now we keep talking, oh, AI can do this, AI can do this. Why can't we use in our office? It is very, very simple. Don't think I will bring one AI which will analyze all my tally and automatically I'm closing my hands. Oh my goodness, I'm getting balance sheet. Sir, that is futuristic. If it happens, great. Can we do in simple steps? The answer is yes. I'll give you one classical case. Recently, Income Tax Department came up with this requirement of 206 QB. Okay, or whatever, that tedious provision, sir. I'll not go into too much. I'm not a tax guy. Please excuse me for it if I've told the wrong section. It requires that you have to upload your income tax return, or you have to demonstrate proof of income tax return. You have to give all these various fancy things and a lot of expectation like this. In that case, create a form. Create a form, fill it up. Now you might be saying, sir, I require a declaration. What do I do? Very simple. Click on settings. Just say collect email and say require sign in, limit to one response. So you will know who is a person who is signed it, who is actually accepted. And we obviously expect only him to have access to his email ID. Under the Information Technology Act, it can be considered as a method of authentication, which is absolutely fine. Correct? And this is how smart it is. Now forget this. You want to conduct an interview, fill up a form. You want to do for various purposes. You have the list is endless. And not to forget, you have the entire folder which you can right click and share and just do various fancy stuff. Correct? Like I just already showed it to you. So this is the power of what you can do for collaboration. The second option which you can do is you can have a Google Drive. Okay, in my case, what you notice over here, you can have a Google Drive which is synchronized real time. Okay, now you will notice that I have not, even though I have this folder called test, it doesn't appear here because through my Google settings, I've mentioned what is the maximum amount of files I want to have access through. Now this is called Google Drive Sync and backup or whatever you can call it. You just have to download Google Drive for desktop. Okay, you will get this option called Google Drive for desktop. And please make it a point you download only from official websites. Sometimes you'll get filehippo.com or Softonic, etc. Please do not use that. And the moment you do this, the beauty is while on one side you have it on the cloud, on the other side the data would keep getting synchronized over here. For example, we have whenever client reimbursements are there, we put it into a Google folder like this, and we have a track of month-wise what are the reimbursements which you need to collect from the client, and that's simple as that. Now the question is how easy you want to do it for your team, correct? And that is what is the possibility. Heading back. So that is how you can use the G Suite. Now many of them think, sir, should I use only Google Suite? You have other options. Go ahead with Microsoft OneDrive. You can use Zoho Drive. We've been using Zoho Drive in our office. And let me tell you, my dear friends, the Zoho is one such company. They have so many options. In fact, you will faint by looking into Zoho applications. I'll just show you the number of applications. I'll speak about them. Again, I don't want to make it as a promotional thing of one particular tool, but many of the products of Zoho is available for free. Starting from CRM, starting from your work from home. In fact, a little later, I'll be showing the Zoho work from home suite. You will get to know. And you have a bunch of these from a sales and marketing, finance. My goodness, mind-blowing applications. And many of them are available for free. Many of us sit and do invoicing through Excel sheets. You have an excellent tool called Zoho Invoice, which is available for free. Recently, they made this policy. They're going to be made available for free. Anybody wants, look at the beautiful thing. You have wonderful dashboards. You can do digital signature, correct? You can send professional invoice. You can know whether that person has viewed, not viewed. You can link it with payment option, correct? You have time tracking, expense tracking, dashboard, customer portal, and all of this is free, my dear friends. All of this is free. Allow me to sip my black tea. Okay, so that's the power of these tools which are available. Coming back, okay, as I told you, OneDrive, Zoho Drive, Dropbox. I was talking about Zoho Drive. I can go and access Zoho Drive, and we have similar features like this. I mean, the options may be a little different. Options may be a little distinct. Now I have various folders. Now, for example, my colleague, he works on this particular data, and I have an option to manage, or I have an option to create, filter, and bunch of these things. And we have, ever since the work from home started, we had to save some amount of data off the server. So therefore, we have a Google Zoho Drive where everybody has access, and we are sort of taken care and protected it. Right? And these are all having a good set of controls. If I go to the admin console, I can define who can have access, what it is. Correct? How many members are using, how many licenses I have, what is the storage space, and the list is endless. I know who are the people, what is the number of files previewed, how many have uploaded, how many have created. My dear friends, this is endless. This is endless. I also spoke about a concept of synchronization with the desktop. I think you already have a clarity in that. Using document management, I also spoke to you on that, how you can use the document management system. Virtual private network. Now, many of them have the data only in their office servers. Now, for these sort of folks, they are not very interested in moving to the cloud. The option available is a virtual private network. Now, whenever you use a virtual private network, please check whether how the virtual private network works. From your home to your office, there is a network setup where only you can access. The moment this VPN agent starts working in your computer and the server, your entire interaction is as though this is an integrated system or this is an integrated extended connection. So just like how you go click on D drive, /server, etc. If you're using a VPN, you can go ahead and do it, but understand the complication. When all 10 of you are from your home and accessing the virtual private network and then reaching your office bandwidth is choked. Even if you're sending an email from your laptop, the email will go to your office internet connection and from there go to the outside world. So VPN, if you're using, you need to be very, very cautious. Some of them tell me, sir, I'm using Tally on VPN. Fantastic, nothing wrong. The challenge there, my dear friends, is ensure the number of users accessing Tally is restricted. If everybody are accessing at a given point of time, it's going to become complicated. Next, you have remote access tools, correct? You have tools like, what is that? AnyDesk, TeamViewer. Please bear in mind, they have access restrictions or they have commercial usage restrictions. Please be cautious of that. There's a very, very interesting tool called AR Power Tool. Okay, so I'll also speak about this Zoho Assist, which is my personal favorite, which again is a remote access software. Now, all that I can do is over here, I am sitting in a completely different location. I am not at the place where, let's say I'm not at the place where my office servers are. So I go click on this Access Zoho Assist. Let's see what I'm able to do. I click on unattended access. Okay. I have a bunch of systems. Let's say I want to access the system 5. I just go ahead and click connect. The system at my office is on, of course. Okay. And I need not have any user to get started. On a remote basis, I can go ahead and access this application. And that's exactly what I'm trying to do now. There you go. This is my remote system. This is my system 5. Correct? And I am able to access it. So I have something called TDS, I have something called Winman, whatever it is. And if I do not want, I can just simply shut it. Or I have options where I can chat, assuming 2 of us are discussing. I have to transfer files, I can do it. I have tools where I can log off power screen, bunch of these things. And this is the power. I need not even bother. I can turn off and turn on also from here. Those settings require some bit of minor modification, but that's the extent which is possible. The next thing, my dear friends, is AR Power Tools. And this tool is called Zoho Lens. Okay. Now in Zoho Lens, you have what is called as an AR Power Tool. Imagine you want to do an inventory verification. You are using one of these tools. Okay. Oh, by the way, you can do with video conferencing tools, inventory verification also. It is going to be time consuming, but when you don't have an option, you have to do things like this. So when you are doing what do I call? What is this called as digital or a real time or a system based inventory audit, and as a result of which you want to go ahead and see somebody else's camera. Okay, you're noticing somebody else's camera. It is as simple as flipping the camera when you're doing a video call. Instead of seeing your photo, you see what is in front of you. So you give it to the security guard, you give it to the admin, you give it to the inventory boy who's actually taking you there. Now you realize that there was something which you wanted to mark. Let me take an example. You have something like this which you wanted to mark. Okay, now this is where this VR tool appears. So this is my mobile phone or my screen. I click on this with an arrow mark or this blue color arrow mark. On the other end, the person who's taking the camera and showing it, he can literally get those marks. Okay, and this is where virtual reality actually comes in, or augmented reality comes in. So I have the tool which gives you that indicator. All that I will do is I know where the problem is. I will actually go closer to it and verify or show the scan image for you. Correct? So what can it do? It can have a multi-participant. It can record a session. It can freeze an image. So you want to take audit evidence, you can do it. You can take snapshots. You can have a voice over call, or you can do a live camera streaming. And this is just an indicative list. Okay. So most of them who are doing remote operations, this makes a lot of sense. And last is something called password vaults. I'm not sure how many of them maintain password vaults. Password vaults help you to store these passwords, and you can share this password to somebody else. Correct? And the beauty is today we are storing all of this in Excel, and it's only going to become a huge cumbersome exercise. Correct? So I think I spoke about all of these. Remote access, few examples. Some of them use a Microsoft RDP. That is also a possibility, but again, that requires some bit of a server configuration and access license. A few others prefer storing it in the document management software, and sometimes the document management software, my dear friends, has some bit of a challenge. I'm sorry, the document management software sometimes has some bit of a challenge in terms of how you store it, but this is definitely one option. If you want to, on a remote basis, you can still use it. Those of them who want to track expiration, those of them who want to track how long this access is going to be there, or how long my digital signature is going to be here, you have again shared tools like this which can help you. And remembering passwords, I think I already spoke of this. Google Forms, again, we showed it. These are a few places where you can use it: article interview, employee training, client survey, data collection for income tax, GST filing, KYC compliance, uploading documents, ROC filing, Form 26QB, all of this is possible. One other very, very powerful tool which I seriously consider practical is Zoho Books. I'm just saying Zoho Books as one example. You have QuickBooks by Intuit, you have your Tata Books and other things. Couple of things where I find them is they have a very interactive, and more importantly, they have an MOU with ICAI. Okay, Zoho MOU with ICAI, you can probably search. They are giving the entire Zoho suite of product free for a period of 3 years. Entire thing. Okay, so Hostbooks is one which is given, and then you have Zoho. You may have to probably search through. I don't think I've got the right link, so you can go ahead and explore this. This MOU is there. I'm not sure whether I clicked on the right link, so please excuse me. What Zoho Finance Suite does is, let's quickly go to Finance Suite. Now it can help you to do everything what is necessary, and it's a unified. Starting from your order management, warehousing, invoicing, subscription management for SaaS-based companies, financial reporting, expense reporting, payroll, you have all of these options available. Invoice, books, inventory, subscription, expense, and checkout. And all of them are over cloud. I'll give you a simple use case which you can consider. Assuming your article staff is not having an Excel, laptop, but you still somehow, want to take at least some amount of work from them. Do a simple thing. Go ahead and upload the Excel statement in Zoho Books. And article staff, based on the narration, please go ahead and pass the journal entries, and that you can do it in a mobile phone. Right? Obviously, you can't concentrate too much time on your mobile phone. So give them half a day or give them 1 hour's task and ask them to take breaks and things like that. And that, my dear friends, is going to help you a lot of things. Correct? If you go visit the CCMB website, you have a lot of tools which are available for free or at a very, very subsidized or a discounted price. You can probably look into it. Next, as I told you, cloud accounting tools. I'm just giving Zoho Books as an example. There are a bunch of features, starting from online payment gateway, automated reminder, follow-ups, instant reviews, automating recurring expenses. For instance, for invoices, I have set a rule that these invoices has to go on these particular dates. And if I don't get a payment, there is a follow-up which happens. So automatically these goes. I need not break my head. Correct? I don't have to spend some time. Sometimes I'm getting a mail, which says invoice is sent to the client. The client has already received it also. Correct? To that extent, automation is possible. Correct? So these are a few things which is possible for the benefit of time. I'm just quickly, taking you through this. What is exactly each of these applications? And as I told you, this entire finance suite of products is available for free for a period of 3 years because of the ICAI MOU. And I was told that the high end, all of these applications, if you actually use it for the 3 years, it will cost you about 3,50,000 rupees. That is currently available for free. So you can imagine what is the benefit which we have. You can use it either for one of your clients or you use it for your own C office. That option is yours. Of course, all these companies work on a per client basis. Unlike a Tally, which is you have a Tally, open hundreds of company. Here it is a little different. Then this is the Tally data entry automation software which I spoke of, which can do multiple things. Excel, push it to Tally, click of a button. The next domain which I have is Tally, data backup. And it's 6 o'clock. As Shri Prema Madam has said, I will take another 10 to 15 minutes before I go into the Q&A. Now, this is something which most of the time is a forgotten area. We either take a backup in external hard disk and we keep that hard disk somewhere. And most of the time that hard disk is filled with a lot of dust, correct? And we forget. Or the problem with a hard disk taking the backup is it has to keep on copying the data. And you will ask the hard disk to copy the data once again. You've already taken the backup until 3 days back, and you are taking it after a week. You will not have a facility where only that 1 week's data you can take the backup. So these are the challenges when it comes to the traditional method. So first and foremost, backing up data is very, very, very critical. I've known various people who are highly experienced, very large firms. They have missed taking backup and they lost years worth of data. There is a new type of a virus. I mean, it's not new, it's been about 4 to 5 years. It's probably 5 year old, which is called as ransomware. What a ransomware does is it encrypts your entire data, In simple language, it kidnaps your data, whereby you cannot access it. And you cannot access your own data, he's basically kidnapped it. You need to pay him in bitcoins or a currency which is not traceable, and he will give you the encryption key, and there is no guarantee that the encryption key works. So what is the solution? Discard your entire system, have the backup, restore it. Now this backup can happen in two methods, a real-time backup or a batch-based. When I use the word real-time, as and when transaction happen, it is getting backed up. It may not be very, very suitable in all cases. The second type of a backup is a batch backup. Once in 3 days, once in 5 days, it gets backed up. That is something which is very critical. The third very, very important lesson in backup, there are various tools like Google Drive, Zoho Drive, or your OneDrive, where there's an option called as synchronize. And synchronize is not backup. Now, what is the meaning of synchronize? Let me give an example. I have this system. Let us say I have this one data where is test. I have a folder called tally test. I will just right click, create a new file or even a text document and say test. And look at it very, very carefully. You will find this icon over here, which says an upward arrow mark and a downward arrow mark, which just changed to a tick mark. Now this means whatever I've saved over here, within few seconds, okay, I'm just writing, let's say time is 6:05. I'm saving it. I'm just closing it. You will find that it is taking a few seconds. Okay, that arrow mark indicates it's getting uploaded. And within a few seconds, you'll find the tick mark appearing. This means it is uploaded in the Google Drive. All that I will do is go to Google Drive, correct? I have the respective folder. Hopefully I can locate where it is. The moment I'm able to locate this, okay, it's in a different folder, I'm sorry. There it is, correct? Can you notice this test? And it says 6:05 p.m. I have changed it. And this is shared. And this is what is called real-time backup. But Google does not call this as a backup system. They rather call it as a syncing system. So sync is totally different from that of backup. In a sync, you are actually ensuring the data is pushed into a common drive at the same point in time. I'll tell you what is the biggest risk with sync. Now, what most of you have done in your offices, you have gone to Google Drive, right-click this folder and shared it with all your office staff, A, B, C, X, Y, Z. And the moment you have done it, all those guys have downloaded and pushed it over here. I'll tell you the biggest risk. If one of your office colleagues' employee system is affected by a ransomware will encrypt all of this. The moment it encrypts, it will change this format in a method where you cannot access it. Let's hypothetically presume I've written this. Okay. Of course, I've not changed the file format here. The file format continues to be the same. Now, the moment the file format continues to be this changes. Now, for example, I'm just going to change the file name here. Please look into it very carefully. Dot something. Okay. Or I make a modification. It takes a few seconds for it to upload. correct? The moment this computer is infected by ransomware, within few seconds, whatever the infected ransomware will come here. Because this is a limitation of automatic synchronization. And once it comes into this file, it will come to this entire file. It will not only come to this entire file, it will come to this all this file which you notice. Correct? When it comes there, all the systems or all the files which you notice over here will get updated. And unfortunately, you cannot go back to the previous version. You can go back by right-clicking every file and go back to the previous version. It's practically impossible. And that is where solutions of backup are very, very, very critical. Okay, and that is where a backup solution should have a versioning history. I'll show you a practical case also what is possible. The last is on-premise, off-premise, cloud. An on-premise backup is something which you store in your own premises. Some of the organizations use what is called as a SAN, storage area network, a separate dedicated system. Off-premises where you have an external backup, you store it at your home or some other place. The third is a cloud where you push it into the cloud system. As I already explained, Google Drive, OneDrive are not backing up systems, correct? There are some things which you can do, add a plugin through which you can take a backup. That is also possible. Okay, so these are a few things which is possible. Now let me give you a simple example how a incremental backup works. This is an application called Vaultin. Where is this? Okay, here it goes. Okay, Vaultin for Business. This is something which is very, very simple, and I've been told at least 60% of his clients are CFOs. Okay, it has an option where I can decide how long I need to keep the data or a deleted file. How long I can keep the data for deleted file. Of course, the credentials are here and some details are here, correct? And it also has a beautiful feature where I can schedule what time the backup has to run and what is the time at which it has to run. And another interesting thing is what are the folders I need to take a backup. That is also defined. And this I can say, I have 100 GB of which 83 GB is done and 79 GB is the data I have. 3 GB is the files which I've deleted. Why? Because of various reasons. Maybe I've done the delete recently and things like that. So that is how real time it is possible. And the beauty of this is it stores in an encrypted manner, at least the tool which I'm using. It stores the data in encrypted manner, encrypts the data at source and compresses the data. So it is not that I have 100 GB of data. I will have 100 GB of data, which in turn becomes 30 or 40 GB of compressed data, correct? So these are a few options. As I told you, Google Drive and OneDrive strictly are not backup options. An example of another backing up company is Vaultin. It has dedicated data centers in India. Okay, this is an Indian-based company. You have few other companies which you can see on the screen. Carbonite is a fairly popular company, which does again, but they have the servers outside India. The penultimate thing which I want to spend a few minutes before I sign off is a remote working option. So remote working basically you require for communicating with the staff, for sharing. Of course, whatever we have spoken of to some extent, remote working has already been taken care. But something which is very, very worthwhile is Zoho Click. Now let me tell you how this works, and it is very, very handy for me. Okay, so I use Zoho Click over here. Now the beauty of this Zoho Click is all my team members, we have an account ID. Okay, all of us have the account ID. On the extreme left, it will give me what are all the users, correct? And I can know how many of them are logged in, how many of them are not logged in. I can click on remote work. Of course, this is something which you have to enforce. If you are, busy, you can set your status. All these are basic things. I can initiate group calls. I can schedule a meeting every day morning at this time. We will have a call. I can go ahead and see who are the people who have mentioned me asking for something. Hey, Narasimhan, what is the status of the work? Or sir, I'll require permission for this. I can star mark messages. I have a beautiful thing called as a reminder, correct? And then I have a calendar. Okay, so today what time I have? Oh, I just recollected I have a meeting at 6:30. Okay, and then I have extensions which are possible. So that is the extent to which I can do it. And the beauty is I can create what is called as channels. Now channels give me specific, if I'm doing a particular client, I put all the conversation to a particular channel. Now this is a channel where all of us regularly on a daily basis update. We know what is the work which is being performed. There is some bigger project which we are doing, we're having a discussion. Now last time we had a training, we have updated something over here, correct? We were exploring some tools and I've mentioned certain things over here. Now there is some payroll verification for a client which we did and we have mentioned all these details, correct? So there are a whole lot of things which you can track it. And the beauty is it's also available as a desktop app. It's available as a mobile phone and it doesn't clog. You can invite your clients as well in case you want to. Okay, so that is something which Zoho Click can do. Okay, few other tools which can help you on remote working. I already spoke of Google, Microsoft, etc. The G Suite or the Office 365. Correct. And is there one combined solution for everything put together? Yes, that is called as Zoho Remotely. It was free until last year. Only now they've started charging. A bunch of tools, everything available at one place. Click, communication, meeting is for conversation, connect is a social media, work drive we spoke of, sprint is task management, assist is screen sharing, lens is that augmented reality, writer sheet and show is nothing but Word, Excel and PowerPoint. So you go ahead, subscribe, pay a nominal amount, whatever is there per month. You're working for 3 months at home, go ahead and use it. You want to permanently use it, the choice is yours. So what is the key message or what is the key things which I want to give it to you? First, you need to invest and experiment in technology and do. Don't think that, by listening to the session, I'll get started. You cannot learn swimming by just looking into a video or reading a book. You need to go hands-on. Adapt to the trend, otherwise you will become outdated. Next, build awareness, engage in debate, discuss with people. That is the only way you will get to know how to make things better. Train and develop and skill, the skill set, mindset, and the tool sets. It is not sufficient if you alone know how to do it. You need to ensure each and every person gets through it. It is not sufficient if you alone put in a policy, you need to enforce it. Many a times I've seen, and this is a practical reality, many organizations started using practice management software since last year. But you ask them how much of the data has been tracked in that, it's a very bad figure. Correct? Dedicate resources and time. Every morning, this 1 hour, I will do only follow-up. It is an unwanted evil, but you have to do it. It is an unwanted evil, but in the larger interest, it is necessary. And last, let's start changing our approach from what I call as the tick-based approach to a click-based approach. A couple of recommended reading for you. A is Digital Capability Maturity Model. This is again not because I've authored it, I'm asking you. It is highly recommended you go through it. It is a simple checklist which will help you to identify what is the level of digital maturity. Okay, the version 2, when we authored, I along with a good friend of mine, Guru Prasad from Bangalore, we authored it. And when we came up with this, we said that we should not only have a checklist. If you're scoring bad, we should also have an implementation guidance. Correct? So how do you go about with that? So that is where you have, and it has section A which talks about automation of your process, section B which talks about qualified resources, talent, how do you get them. C1, C2, C3, C4 is discipline specific. How do you bring in automation and technology into audit domain? How do you bring it into tax? How do you bring it to accounting? How do you bring it into management consultancy? And last, how do I start using advanced and emerging technologies? Then one other book which came up 2021, Strategic Roadmap for CA Firms to Operate as Virtual Firms. This is an excellent document. It's I think just 3 or 4 days back, they've taken back from the ICI website server, but you can probably ping me. I can share a copy of this, or I can share it with Sripriya Madam as a part of this presentation. Of course, there's a small tweak. After authoring it, there was some sort of communication gap, and the names of author did not appear in this. And the institute immediately, once we notified it, they've decided to take it back and they will edit it and push it back into the website. But yes, this is an excellent document for you to get started to become a virtual firm, where we have spoken about how automation can be used, how you can go ahead. Of course, there's just an indicative content. Much more is there into this. In fact, in page 90 or 91, we have spoken about what are all the various tools you can use it. And I still find those tools being outdated. Today we have so many tools. In fact, probably in a 2 to 3 months time, 2 to 3 weeks time, I'm planning to come up with a small survey on what are all the tools and how we can actually use it to automate and get better. Okay, so I'm very, very thankful for this opportunity. I know I've taken a little longer than what I should have, but I hope it gives all of you a very, very valuable insights. And let me tell you, this is just a trailer. The future world is going to run heavily on tools and technology, and we need to gear up for it. I'm happy to take questions. These are my contact coordinates. I'm always available on LinkedIn. We can always connect and discuss. The presentation, of course, will reach you.
So thank you very much, Narasimhan. There are just a few questions and, of course, very nice feedback. Can the client keep using the system while giving the remote control to us for working Tally?
Yeah, it is possible, but it will be a little slow. Let's be prepared for it.
Sure.
The other option is normally the client will be working on this year data. We will require previous year data. So split the data and see whether something can be possible.
Is Zoho spreadsheet equally capable as Excel 365?
Yes, please. Excel, Google, all of them. But please bear in mind, these are all cloud-based tools. Only Microsoft has a application-based tool, and they went onto the cloud.
In OneDrive, can we have a real-time backup of documents other than documents and pictures folder?
Yes, everything possible. You need to configure it. Just like how you had Google Drive, you can have it. You need to enable Google Drive for desktop, or OneDrive for desktop. Use the same thing. But as I told you, it is not called as a backup. It is called as synchronization.
What is your personal choice between Google Drive and Microsoft OneDrive?
Again, there is no standard answer. One advantage of a Microsoft is you also get the email ID, and it can also be used as an on-premise application. That is one advantage in case of Microsoft. Whereas in a Google Drive, it is purely on the web application. So if you use a Microsoft 365, you also can have a standalone application. Even if internet is not working, you can use it. That's one added advantage.
And the other interesting thing is, if you're a Microsoft user, you're a Microsoft user. I mean, it's like, I find it very difficult on an Apple laptop, but the rest of my younger crowd in office thinks it's great. So I think it's also a matter of personal choice. Can you give some service providers for practice management tools? I actually have an interesting input on this. There's a very, very eminent chartered accountant from Vijayawada who's actually, or Guntur, I think. His name is Shiva Prasad Amara. I'll actually put Shiva Prasad's contact. He had actually shown it to me, and he developed it very nice for CAs. Other than that, I've not used any practice management tools. I mean, I have not used his tool either. But since it was a
endless number of tools, some which are very generic, some which are customized. The ICA has tie-up with a few of them. Pepilio, for example, ICA has a tie-up. Simplify Practice, ICA has a tie-up. In addition, there are so many other tools. You just search for CA tools or practice management tools. You'll get a bunch of them. Or visit page 90 of the book which I'm speaking of. In that, the entire summary of tools are available. But please bear in mind, this was prepared about 2 years back. Okay, so obviously a lot of tools have been added in the last 1 year, including the one which ma'am just spoke of.
How to use Google Drive for desktop? Till now, we're using it in Chrome browser.
I told you, go to Google, just type as download Google Drive for desktop, download it. You will get a folder, synchronize with it.
Should the system at office be switched on to enable us accessing using Zoho Assist?
There are two options again here. One is called as unrestricted, unattended access. So even if nobody is there, you can go ahead and control it. You have to just go and change the settings. So you can in fact switch on and switch off your office server also through that.
Sure. Please explain VPN process and how to implement it. Virtual private networks.
VPN. Okay. So let's not complicate too many things. There are softwares called as VPN agents who are available. You just have to install one agent in the server and one more agent in my computer or your computer, whichever it is. And I double click it, it can access. It comes with a price. You have to just contact IT vendors.
Could you please explain in detail about the conversion of Excel data into Tally entries? I think he's talking about the TDL.
I mean, it's just not the TDL. One option is the TDL.
That upload.
The TDL sits on Tally. There are some other technologies from Excel. It pushes. You can visit Windsor Infotech. I mean, in the presentation, you'll have that. You can go visit. There are a lot of YouTube videos, or search for my name on YouTube. You will get a lot of interesting videos where I've spoken.
In fact, very interestingly, we did it. We worked with one of those standard Tally vendors. They charged us only 3,000 rupees per format. So all our revenue, we got it done for 3,000 rupees. We push it into Tally. So we just do it. Similarly, for each voucher type. So we got it done for revenue. We got it done for payments, bank or something like that. So some 10,000 rupees. And today we only do it in Excel and push it into Tally. And that's all it costs. And the best thing is you can use the tool for yourself, that Excel, and for your clients also. So it's not that they charge per client. So it's a very low cost thing.
And also there are a couple of tools which are available, which I told you. They are format agnostic. It doesn't matter what format you have. Any bank statement, you just have to have the columns in a particular structure, and you can go ahead and push it.
Does Zoho provide mail services like Outlook?
Yep, Zoho Mail, it's available. So instead of logging to gmail.com, you have to go to zohomail.com, and there you have to write @ whatever your it is.
Mr. Ramanathan CA, Ramanathan sir wants presentation material. It will be shared. It will be shared in the group itself. Could you please suggest any software for SMP firms while carrying out statutory tax audits and maintaining documentation complying with the auditing standards? One such, I know this person and he's done it well. Just have a look. Maybe I'll invite him for a presentation because a lot of people are asking, and he's also a very, very common circuit speaker, but there are others as well. So you can evaluate all of them and have a look. And are there any freeware which is available here? I think
freeware is not there. What you can do is you can buy tools like Papilio, and you have to add in the checklist. That work you have to do it. And for each of those checklists, you can add the attachment and things like that. So that's a workflow management software.
What's the name that you had mentioned?
Papilio.
Okay.
Papilio Simplify Practice. I'm mentioning these two names because they have an MOU with ICAI.
And how much does Papilio cost?
Up to 5 users, I think it's free because of the MOU.
Okay.
And after that, it is, I think, small firms, it is, I think, 1,500 per year or 2,000. Okay. I'm not sure of the rates. Sorry.
How do we get it back in case of need from Walton?
Yeah, you can either place a request to them and ask them to push it back, or you yourself can go to Walton. They'll give you a link. You can download it. If you take their assistance, they may charge you a nominal fee. Otherwise, it is available.
Thanks, Bhavna. Bhavna says it was a super presentation, and thanks. Book has already been shared in the group. I think the groups had seen the book already. Trishur Subramaniam from Bangalore says, request if you can share the presentation. Session was very informative, beautifully presented, lots of learnings. Thanks for the wonderful insights. Gauri, can we have the PPT mailed? Yes, Shubha Kumar. Excellent presentation. Can you please elaborate on sync data backup? And that's from Sharada Devi Balaji from Chennai.
Sync, as I told you, my dear friend, is you have a folder. You save anything onto that folder, automatically it gets synchronized. Like I showed you in one of the screen, I have saved a file. It takes a few seconds and the tick mark comes. That's the time it's synchronized. Automatically it goes to the cloud. Assuming the same folder your friend is downloaded in his computer, right? You sync it here, he will be able to view it.
Sure. Can we access the session video? Yeah, this time Narasimhan has. So I'm on the fourth quadrant. So even if I can't print, I have to call my son if it's at home or somebody in my office to get me aligned. All I can do is Excel. So yeah. So I'll definitely take his assistance and I'll ensure that this video reaches you. Can I switch on the server being at home?
It's possible, provided the application you're using has an access to the BIOS setting. That is something which is possible. You have to do it. Zoho Assist can do. There are a few other tools which can do it.
Praveen Reddy has an interesting question. Is a mind mapping software available in Zoho or any other provider for free?
Mind mapping software. Okay. You can use it even in Excel. There are some add-ons which are available.
I do it in PPT, so if it's there, please let me know.
I mean, it's just a smart art which you can actually push it.
Yeah, so I use it just to keep building.
I think Excel has this add-on tools which you can go ahead and try.
Okay. Best tool for NCA filing, if you have any specific which you have used.
So I will not call it as a best tool. There are, MCA filing for various reasons, you don't have many players, but you have one by this former Wipro colleagues who formed it. I'm not able to recollect it. I'll just tell it to you. Let me just.
That was a question by Mr. Mohan.
Okay, I will just tell it to you. I'm just quickly tracing where that I'm not able to recollect the name.
Whether tally data can be saved on Google Drive Sync.
Yeah,
the tally data also changes on real-time basis in local drive and cloud.
Yes, please. It happens. It takes time for it to upload and download, but it can happen.
That was by Gopalakrishnan Natesan, Chennai. Shubha Kumar, Chennai. Google Drive and Zoho Drive documents, how secure are they?
Google Drive and Zoho Drive, you can go ahead and download Google's information security report or a SOC report, which says what is the security standards they follow. It's fairly safe. reasonably and much more than normal setup. And Google has the server outside India, of course, at least what we do. They have a server within India, but it comes with a pricing. Zoho server, mostly for Indian users, is based out of India, and they have it within their own premises within India. For the company secretary, there are two softwares. One is called SAG Infotech, okay, which I could recollect, and the other one is called Simplify. Simplify, it is with a C and not a S. Simply. Simplify. These are two things which I can think of.
I only wish audit would also become simply audit instead of getting complicated.
Probably we might have one more audit there. Or two.
We should have complicate audit. So, when we for outsourced accounting facility, is it to be provided to clients? Is Tally better or Zoho better?
Zoho is better because the client can view the reports. He is able to view a lot more analytics and dashboards.
When we try to use the office tools, it's going as a web application and I'm not able to save it in my laptop drive. This is Mr. Mohan. The previous one was for Mr. Sivaramakrishnan.
No, I'm not too clear. Sorry. What are you trying to save and what are you trying
When I try to use the office tools, it's going as a web application and I'm not able to save it in my laptop drive.
I am not sure what tool specifically you're asking. Maybe I can take it offline. You can just message me.
So, Mr. Mohan, if you can send me a message, I'll send you Narasimhan's number.
I'm presuming it is saved on a web application and therefore you cannot download it. For example, a Google Drive and things like that. You have an option where you can right click and download for a desktop or open it in an Excel format.
Okay, this is from Krishna Kirtana Kumar, sorry. Could you please repeat? And of course, she or he goes on to say it's excellent. Thanks for an excellent session. Could you please repeat what standard configurations we should look for when we want to purchase a laptop that we support our work nature? In case of files synced to one drive, damaged, deleted, or corrupted, is it possible to retrieve the previous versions?
Two questions. Question number one, standardized laptop. As I told you, minimum of 4 GB RAM. Your hard disk should at least be 512 above hard disk. And your processor is minimum an i3 equivalent or above. These are three recommendations. Depends again on the size. For instance, I use heavy processing, then I may probably go for i7, I may go for 12 or 16 GB RAM, or I may go for a 1 terabyte and things like that.
But in my experience, if you're buying something, buy the maximum, because it's some 20,000-30,000 rupees difference, but at least the main people who work the PCs ensure, because otherwise you're working on a large spreadsheet and then it's waiting and waiting, so it's a bit frustrating.
Correct.
So Mr. Surendran has an input, a CA Surendran. Papillo is not very user-friendly. So he says, can you tell the name of the backup software which will back up from where we left it off previously from Mr. Rajagopalan?
Vaulten, Vaulten, Vaulten.
Will there be huge costs for having a physical server 24/7? Would you also like to touch a bit on cloud backup? I mean, why would I even want a physical server is one thing. So
physical server is totally optional depending on what you want to. It's not going to cost huge, except that your electricity bill obviously have to be ready for it and have a backup generator, whatever UPS and things like that. That way, yes. But you need to compulsory have some InfoSec solution, including a firewall. So it is going to cost you a little and you need to monitor that.
So in case of sharing global clients' data, how far the data privacy rules are applicable and how to safeguard as a practicing professional?
Very good question.
Example, a wholly owned subsidiary of overseas entity and data is shared to Indian CA via live data access.
Very good question. So from a data privacy standpoint, please look into what is the requirement of a country-specific regulation. Most of the countries say your data should not leave outside the country. So this is a couple of models which are available. Model number one, instead of choosing a Google Cloud which has data hosted on an Indian server, choose a Google Cloud which hosts the data in a US server. That's one option, or a European. Second, you have an option called virtual desktop interface, VDI. You can try with that.
So there are a lot of questions on this session recording, Narasimhan. So when I go to Zoho, it says in webinar, the recording will now be available. It gives me a link. So if I share this link with everybody, can they see, or they need?
I will just check that once. I'll let
that out,
or we'll do something about it.
Sure. because I have quite a few which I have not posted and I'm waiting for a resolution. Any utility for Schedule 3 format from Tally? So
There
I've
are a
done this
couple
in
of them.
Excel. I could possibly share it with you. So I use it for my office, the limited work that we do. So it's very, we've done it with Excel VLOOKUPs and some ifs. That's about it.
That is one work. You also have a couple of things which is there, but it is again not a very standardized and best in class and things like it has its limitations.
I could just very briefly describe it to you. You take your entire trial balance. You have 4 or 5 rows for your reclassifications, minus and plus. So for example, short-term, long-term reclassifications, advanced reclassifications, or you can even put it on the column on the right side. So every reclassification entry, you bring it into a separate column and get your final trial balance total. Then for each line of your trial balance, you configure the Schedule 3 heading. Then you make your Schedule 3 in one sheet P&L and one sheet P&L, and you just do a sum if by the Schedule 3 heading and your home. And the best part with this is your TB total will always be 0, your balance sheet will always be tallied, and it's not even a macro driven thing. So anytime you add something, you can make that correction and it happens. I'll try and I'll update. These are things that I used to do earlier, but I can share this format with you. I'll share a Schedule 3 format. Shubha Kumar says, so Freddie, you got the idea. So you don't even use VLOOKUPs. You only use sum ifs. So and then the whole thing is so seamless. It doesn't occupy space. You don't have this linking issues, etc. All you have to do is come and put the trial balance every time in one place and have one TB master. So if your client has brought in one new account, it will not look up to the master, and you will have to update it as sundry creditor. That's about it. Excellent and useful presentation. Shubha Kumar, very useful. Rekha. How expensive is Vault 10 by Rajesh?
I think it's about 15,000 per year for about 100 GB of compressed data. And I think you can negotiate depending on what it is.
Okay. This is a DSC issue. I don't know if I'll come back to this question later. I'm not able to use GST and MCA emSigner simultaneously in the same system.
Yeah, you have to
also have.
Unfortunately, in our office, we have one for PF, one for ESI, one for ROC, and one for GST. There is no option.
Dinesh says, lots of great insights. Thank you very much. Excellent presentation, Venkat Lakshmi. Nice presentation, Sivalingam sir, Ramachandran Jnanaprakasham sir. Can you spell the compliance software you mentioned?
It is there in the slide. I will give that to you.
This is the same thing that you had mentioned, right? Where you can configure the inputs. Okay.
Correct.
That was what was Papillon.
Yeah, Papillon and few other tools are also there. I will add it.
Need one more session, giving more time to presenter for clarity. Sure, sir. So we can organize one more session. Mr. Ramdas says, excellent session. Recording of the session, Ramachandran Narayanan. Yes, sir. Let me know your book. I'll be happy to share the book also. Why don't you just put it on the group so we can
I'll do that once again.
Thank you, Sashi Kumar sir. Thanks. And mine is a small role, so it's Narasimhan's day. So very informative presentation. Yeah, it will be possible. Mr. Vijay Raghavan, thanks. Does I have a tie-up with Google for G Drive space for storage or backup of documents?
No.
So that's Rekha. Now Microsoft has launched or is launching Windows 11. How do we determine that it's the time to migrate? It will keep telling you.
Yes, because 2025 is Microsoft is told end of life. So we'll think about it a little later.
It is Bliss, says Umesh.
Bliss is nothing but the software by Simplify. That's called as Bliss. They have 2-3 versions. The name of the company is Simplify.
How to access Google Drive in folders other than through Google Chrome?
I think I showed that, right?
Yeah. So I think some of these questions are possibly. After the sync, if I take a copy and store it in a different folder in OneDrive, in case of a hack, will this help as a backup?
It is possible, but question is, every time you need to keep on copying and pasting, right? You're just going to redo the work. I would rather prefer putting in money of 5 or 10,000 and doing a backup and being happy and not bothering about the rest.
And that was by Neeta. Please share the PPT as the software names we tend to forget. Yes, Muthumani, we will do that. In OneDrive, we have the Power Automate how to create flow.
Oh, that is through SharePoint you have to do it, not through OneDrive. SharePoint.
And there is a recommendation saying it's from Microsoft. Is there any software for stock and receivable audit? So most of these are just your Excel templates will do, I guess, because it's a standard checklist. So the way we do, you would normally do it is every stock audit, you put it in a separate folder and you create one standard Excel sheet. All the backups, you save it as supplementary sheets. So your entire audit is comprised in that one Excel file, where the first page will be the report as it is to be given to the bank. See, one of the things that we do is we maintain all these reports in Word. Don't do that. One time you configure the report format on Excel so that, even if you have to go back to the report, it's so easy because the number will be linked to the client submission or the trial balance. Can ICAI be suggested to have a server for members specific? Yeah, there's always a shared opportunity in cost optimization. So thanks for the wonderful presentation and session. It has given a great solution to a few pertinent issues from this work from home. That's Gopalakrishnan, Gopal Nadeshan. Mr. Bhima says, excellent presentation. Best form of backup, is it external or cloud?
Cloud is also external, right?
Yeah, I think what they actually mean is
internal versus external. I'm not too
external
sure.
And cloud.
I would always suggest one data to be external, but provided the place where that external he is reasonably secure on it.
Compliments from Mr. Rajagopalan. Is it better to get data via FTP server or through a dedicated server?
FTP is always good, but again, setting up an FTP is expensive.
Compliments from Mr. Gopal Swami. Yeah, very true. He's made a very good statement. How we need to use technology. I think a couple of us are initially, even I get very completely wound up when I see something new, but I think it takes a little bit of time and then it's so easy after that.
Absolutely. It's a question of
compliments
time.
Mr. Shankaran, Mr. Surendran. Can you create forms in Office 365 similar to a Google form?
Yes, Microsoft Forms, sorry.
So, very practical answers from Mr. natsalem@gmail.com. Can we have a session explicitly for Zoho? Well, if there are enough, if anybody wants it, I'm quite happy to do it. It's one day, so we can have it for Zoho and a couple of other things as well. Yes, Shubha and one more person who had asked. I'll definitely just give me a few days time. I'll fish it out and I'll give you a Schedule 3 format. Thanks so much, Shubha, for the compliment. It's his. So, would like to have another session on operational aspects. So, if you can put in some suggestions. See, it's not even necessary that these webinars have to be 1.5 hours. They can be even 45 minutes. They can be half an hour. They can be anything. So, we're quite happy to have a small crowd and do this. That's not a problem.
In fact, we can have a AMA session, ask me anything sort of a thing.
Yeah, we should.
Have answers for everything, but at least we can work out something. And it's a collaborative, somebody shares that this is what they did. It came as a solution.
No, and I think the nicest thing about these presentations, Nasaman, is that you can do. So today I learned something about Walton. I will go and check out what is the possibility. I've learned something on this Papillon, some good, some bad. But I find this very interesting because I'm sure we can find some use for it in the work that we do.
Correct.
Thanks, Mr. Anand Kulkarni. Thanks, Mr. Zulfikar Hussain. We'll figure out how to get this presentation delivered. Yes, we'll have a session for Zoho. So it seems like everybody would like to learn Zoho invoicing at least. So Zoho invoicing, can I integrate it to Tally?
You have an option in Zoho where you can download.
And then upload it into Tally.
You have journals which you can do. You have to do some bit of massaging because the name what you have in Zoho and Tally has to be the same. Because sometimes what we do in Tally, you would have just written the name of the company. Whereas you in your billing software, you write ABC Private Limited. Or sometimes ABC Private Limited will have SCZ, 3-4 billing entities.
Yeah, so that's something I think overall, even for us or our clients, this master data hygiene has always been a challenge. Somebody quickly enters in Tally, just keeps writing some name and keeps on going. So in fact, I figured that's the nice thing about Zoho. there is a lot of control on how you describe it. So yeah, but one time if you start changing your Tally masters, then the uploads should virtually happen. So thanks so much, Sharda. Share the PPT. Yes, Dinesh, we will share. Yes, Zulfikar, we can do a session on Zoho. So thank you very much. And I think we've reached to the end of this session. And if anyone has questions or any support that you need, Narasimhan's always there. So you could message either on the group. I am a little, if Narasimhan's okay, I'll share the number in the group. That's about it. So thank you very, very much for this, and very, very happy. And as always, I think the speakers are the biggest gainers. So we also learn a lot. So thank you very much, Narasimhan, and thanks so much. And if anybody has specific questions on the tools, maybe they can come back and you can help.
Perfect.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Bye-bye.